Hey everyone. Um, Today I'm going to go over things that you need to know before you build an underground house. As you can see, here is the back of mine. I did a tour of the roof. I'm not sure if I'll put it in this video. If you haven't seen it yet in this video, then it will be a separate video and you can go watch it. I also have a video of a tour of the inside, and I have a video of the tour of the outside if you want to go see them too. I go into much more detail and you can find out more about it. And one of them is, one of them it has what it's like to live in it as well, if you want to watch those. But here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing situated. Okay, it's surrounded by concrete. Okay, number one, well, I don't have these in any particular order. I guess, I don't know. But okay, one thing you need to know is, okay, it's surrounded by concrete and cement, or whichever one it is. I don't know. So you gotta have everything mapped out. You know, like where you want everything at. You gotta have, because you can't change it when it's done. So you better have it all mapped out, the floor plans the way you want it all. And the plumbing, septic, you know, anything under the ground, you gotta have it mapped out, because the foundation is cement, so or concrete, whichever. So you've got to know which, you gotta, where you want everything. And this house has 2 bathrooms, and they are back to back. You enter into them, in different places, of course. One's through the master suite, and one is through the front in the living room. And if you build them that way, they may be easier to get into, to build it that way. It might be easier to build it that way. And, no, you put, most of the plumbing, in one spot, except for like the kitchen sink or whatever. And another thing, you got to know where things will enter into the house. And the roof tour that I did, it will show, where all the things are on top. So I might just put that at the beginning of this video, but I mean, it only lasted a few minutes. But you have to know where there's vents, there's space, there's cement surrounding it, but there's a space inside of that, and these are the ventilation pipes, and they vent air into it. And you gotta make sure you keep those cleaned out. Sometimes wasps get in it. You gotta keep, it has like a kind of like a screen over them or in them, it keeps things out of it. But you gotta make sure you have it cleaned out, because sometimes dirt dogs and wasps like to put nests and stuff in it. And here we have the power, the power line, the phones, possibly the internet. I'm not sure. And this is the cable. Whether you have cable or satellite, I don't know, but cable has to be going down through there. And I have the faucet and the faucet and then the chimney behind it. And well, you know, you gotta know where everything goes in, you know, like the landline phone, if you have one, power lines, the central air, you know, air conditioning, heating, chimney, and most important, the ventilation pipes. Okay, now when the roof in this one is cement, concrete, whichever, and it's best to put some extra support in it. And we have a bunch of what they call rebar. I don't know what they call that in every country, but it's just like big metal poles, big metal, you know, rods that goes across, and they help support. You know, you gotta think of the long run. You want it to last a long time, and it will keep it more solid and support it and make it last longer. And okay, and number 4, you gotta know how much space you want in there. You know, you gotta know the size. You don't really know. You gotta do research on how big they can make these, you know, and still be, you know, good. You should know the number of rooms you have, and you should utilize all of the space in the house. Don't build walls where you're closing it in and there's space that's four-walled and you ain't going to be, you know, you're not going to be using it. You got to use every single space in here. That way you can have more space in them, because, you know, they're not really all that big. This one is one of the bigger ones I've seen. I have seen 2 or 3, and they have less rooms than this. But this one has 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and living room, kitchen, combo attached. And then there's, like, you know, a little closet for each of them, but you've got to know what you are. Hold on a sec. Okay, you got to know what you know, you're gonna build first. You know, like, you got to know what you're gonna do before you build it, and that way you have it all mapped out. And you got to know the size of the rooms, and keep in mind that rooms can be smaller than they look once you get stuff in them. And this house has really small closets, and that's what I hate about it, because I grew up with a tiny closet and it didn't have much space in it. So you got to have everything you want in it, you know, wrote down and everything. You gotta kind of map it out. That way you know where everything's gonna go, you know, and then you have your plans, you know, made out. And another really important thing you need to know, number 5, is it humid where you're at? If you want to build one, I live in the South in the U.S., and it is humid as heck here. And you need a way to get the humidity out if it does get humid where you are, because if you don't, you can get mold growing in there, and you don't want that, and you don't want to breathe that, and you don't want to smell that. So you gotta figure that out. My dad was the one that came up with everything and helped build it and everything, and I don't know, I explained some of it in one of my videos and what it's like to live in there, but what he thought, some things he thought would work didn't, and we had to put a fireplace in because the heaters we had wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to get the humidity out. We had air conditioner for the summer that would get humidity out, but we didn't have nothing for the winter. And yeah, so if you can get central in air, do it. Ceiling fans are out because the ceilings aren't really high enough for that. The ceiling inside is maybe about 7 foot, I don't really know, on the inside. So on the inside it's about 60 by 30 feet. I don't know how big is the biggest you can make it, and it be safe. I guess as big as you can get it. I don't know. But if it's humid there, you have to figure out a way to get the humidity out. It's like a cave. It will get humid. And it's annoying. And humidity makes it feel hotter than it is. When it's hot outside, it makes it feel like it's 10 degrees hotter than it really is. And, you know, it will get mold if you don't get the humidity out. So if it's humid there, you might want to think about how you're gonna get the humidity out. And one of the other important things is choose a good angle for your roof. See how it is sloped? It's probably steeper than it kind of looks, especially where I'm standing. But you got to choose a good angle for your roof. If you're gonna have dirt, you're gonna have grass over it, you must choose a good angle because you've got to be prepared to mow your roof. It sucks. It's terrible, I know, but it's just extra mowing you have to do. But if you want to have, a house like earth sheltered house, you've got to mow the roof, and you have to have a good angle that you can get your mower on the roof, without tipping it over or anything. So you got to be able to drive your mower, whichever kind you may get, whether it's a push mower, a riding mower, zero turn or what. I think the zero turn mowers are not recommended for going on hills. I'm not sure. I don't really know much about them. We don't have one of those. But you've got to get the angle right, so you can mow the side of your house. You don't want it to be too steep where your mower can't go up it or around it. When you want to mow or whatever. Okay, and 7, you've got to, all these things, that this faucet may not go into the house. It's hooked from the back, but you've got to seal everything, like the toilet and around the chimney and everything. You've got to, and this is the laundry vent. You've got to seal them, like this one's surrounded by cement, so you've got to seal them around it, or so you don't get leaks, because you do not want leaks. Because if you do put dirt over it, then you've got to dig down a few feet to even get to where the leak is to fix it. There's a few feet of dirt on the top. I think there's a bird sitting over there. Anybody see it? But there's a few feet of dirt on here, and I don't know. You've got to think about the future, because the more dirt that's on the roof, on top of that cement or concrete, whichever, the more weight is on your house. And in the future, you want it to last for a long time. So you have to think about how much dirt you really need on it. Because my mom was thinking that my dad put too much dirt up here. And this house is, it's at least 30 years old. And I don't know, they kept putting dirt on here, and the inside is starting to get, light cracks across the ceiling a little bit. But as I mentioned before, that rebar helps support really good, so it's still doing pretty good. So you gotta, you got it pretty good if you use rebar, I think. I'm not sure what they call it anywhere else, but you can research it. If they call it something else there, I don't know. I think they're made from steel. I have no idea what they're made out of. Maybe, I don't know. They're metal poles, kind of metal bars, metal rods or something, and they put them across the ceiling, and it has really good. It makes really good support. It's in the cement. They put it through it, and it's really good for adding extra support. So it will help your house last longer if you use that. I'm not sure what else you can use if you don't line it with cement. All of them I've seen the inside of, that's how they've done it. I'm not sure on everything that went into building this. I was 4 when we moved in, and so I don't really know everything they did into building it. But if you have any questions, put in the comments. If you have questions, I'll do another video. And any questions about the house, how it's built, or what you want to know about it. I have videos of an inside tour and an outside tour, and one of the roof, whether I put it up yet or not. I will put it in a separate video also. If I do put it in this video, I'll put it in a separate video also. Okay, and next, you really need to put the plumbing in the right place, in the right spots first, because it will be almost impossible to get under the floor to fix that part. So you better hope, if you have plumbing problems, that it will just be outside the house or in the house and not under the house. We haven't really had any problems under the house. It's mainly just pops in the walls before it goes into the floor. But the foundation is cement, so in this one. So you really gotta have, them in the right places. And if you put the bathrooms adjacent to each other, then it's kind of less work you gotta do with the bathrooms. And if you did have to get under there, you can fix everything at once. So that might help. Our kitchen is in that corner up there, so there's pots and everything, that's in that corner too. But they just run, outside and down to the woods down there. So, it's pretty much. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera. I have it on my gimbal, but my gimbal doesn't work too good. It's not quite balanced right now at the moment. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments or anything. And also, in the front, it is best to have double doors. That way the heat and the cold will mainly stay between the doors. And, you know, and or for that comes in from outside, you know, when the heat in the winter and stuff. That way, you know, you can actually have, you know, a little more of a neutral temperature inside. This house, in spite of what they say, it does get very hot and very, well, it does get pretty hot and pretty cold in there, different parts of the year. It takes longer for it to get hot in the summer and longer for it to get cold in the winter, but when it does get pretty hot and cold. So it is not always cold in caves, just so you know. So it's good to have double doors and double windows, double pane windows. This house, the front doors used to be sliding doors, and there was two of them about well, it had sliding doors. I don't know, but we replaced those with doors that open in. So we took part of the space in there, turned it into a voyeur type thing, whatever you call it, you know, the front room where you wipe your feet, you know, and all that stuff. This is the front. So we have two windows and two doors. Well, it's a double wide door, but only one side of it opens. But the windows are doubled, and they're probably a gap of a foot maybe between the outside window and the inside one, and they're double pane windows, so they're pretty good. This is probably a pretty good, you know, like storm shelter. I always felt safe sleeping in here. We never had to go to the storm shelter when it stormed, because this was our storm shelter. And we have never had a tornado here. We would probably be safe if we were in the back, but ultimately, if there was a tornado that went right through our front yard, it would probably break the windows and suck a lot of stuff out of it. So I don't know. It's your judgment on how many windows and doors or whatever. There's no back door. So if the front's destroyed or caved in, then we're stuck in there. The front half is the living room and kitchen, and the back half is where the bedrooms and stuff are. And on the very end over here is a bedroom also. So I guess in the bedrooms it'd probably be safe. We've never had a tornado that came near this neighborhood, but we've had tornadoes in the city though. But we were just lucky we hadn't got hit by one. Thank goodness. But it's a good idea to use, you know, double pane windows and have two, you know, sets of windows of those, because they're harder to break, they're stronger, and sometimes they do fog up between the two panes, you know, of the single double pane window, but maybe they make them better now. I don't know. But these are some things that you need to know before you build one. If you want to build one and you have any questions, leave some comments. Let me know, and I can do another Q&A. Answer some more questions in another video. And I'm open-minded to ask me anything. And here's a good angled version of the view of it. But before you build one, make sure you do research and you know all the codes that you got to be up to date with codes. You don't want to get it built and then not pass inspection, and then you're screwed because you're like, how am I going to redo this? So you got to really know what you're getting into, know how you're going to do heating and air. Ceiling fans are pretty much out. The ceilings are too low for that. Unless you are a family of, little people, then I don't think that's gonna work. And I mean, no disrespect to anyone as of what I just said. But, ceiling fans do hang down a foot or two, so it's not gonna be possible in here. So you've got to find different ways. We just use fans, or we've got box fans and tabletop fans. And we have an air conditioner right there. It is covered up right now, but that is about our only way to cool it down other than fans. And I don't know if they had much. It was built in the 80s, 1980s. I don't know if they had much of heating and air going on then, but my dad didn't think to do it. He always thinks his ways are good. Sometimes his ways don't work, but you never know. But you gotta know where you're gonna put everything, and and then you will be all set once you have your floor plans and stuff. And make sure you use all of the space, and make sure you make the rooms big enough, because my bedroom was the smallest one in the whole house, and I didn't have as much space. I didn't like that, but I've always felt safe in this house though. So make sure you have big enough closets and big enough space, but make sure that you do research on if you want it bigger than this one, you might want to do research on it. Make sure you have enough wall supports and everything. On the inside, we have wood paneling. You can probably use anything else too. Wood paneling is stronger than sheetrock. Sheetrock will bust holes in it. If you just drop a chair against it, you'll make a dent or make a hole in it. I don't really trust sheetrock. I don't like sheetrock. Paneling is stronger. You can punch it and it pretty much won't make a hole. And if you don't like wood, you can pretty much paint over it and make it any color you want. But you can use whatever, walls you like. If you want to know more about the inside, I have a video of the inside tour. You can watch that. Find out more about the inside, what it looks like, what all the rooms are, and everything. And I have an outside tour that goes all the way around the house. But I don't have the top view in that video. But I have another video that you can go around it. But anyways, thanks for watching.